Hey y'all, SAArmato here from SAArmatoArts. I hope that you're having a great day, a great time, or night, whenever you happen to be seeing this. As you can see, that's normal daylight, y'all. I'm way past my bedtime. I'm looking because I have this facing forward again camera, except now we're horizontal because we are focusing and only going to be doing pretty much YouTube, because I can do more than 15 minutes for a reading. I can give you as long of or as in depth of a reading as you decide to listen to me or that you need to. You can always press 2 times speed, you know. Sometimes it's a little bit fast because I speak fast, but you know, if you need to put 1.25 speed, 1.5, or like slow me down to 0.5, you know, whatever it is easiest for you to digest this knowledge, you can do that in YouTube. You cannot speed or slow down someone's video, or like my old videos on Instagram. I have plenty and I've started to put them up here, and I'm trying to edit them and fix them up because they're not as nice as I would like. But not just that, it's need a little bit of help. TLC, love and tender love and care. There's no nice way to put that. What else? Oh, you might see my cats. And in case you see me take this out, this is the water bottle sprayer. It's just water and a sprayer. Because I got cats, and my cats don't listen, okay? You gotta teach them. You gotta give them something to listen for. Especially because I put that on there. It's my suitcases and stuff, so we just covered that up. Yeah, I said it. It's a mess. Moving. That's how you can tell. Oh God, now that brightened up even more. Yikes. All right. Anyways, back to the thing. Yeah. So I pulled a couple of cards, and this is either, if you found this video was meant for you in somehow. Either this is some type of, you're gonna need some advice from this, or this might be your situation later on, and you need advice in this type of way for later, currently, or the past. As in something has happened and you would like some more advice. Or it could be that there is just a snippet of something that you need. Like, I give out a piece of advice of like, you know, don't forget to rest. Don't forget to something. Or, hey, maybe this is a good idea. You know, sometimes I have heard people use me almost as like a podcasty. I myself kind of suck at listening to podcasts without seeing something visual. At least a little bit. But I totally get it. Like just having somebody chatter in the background to listen to everything, you know, totally understand. It's not a problem. What else? Yeah. Basically, take what works for you and what doesn't, leave it. Sometimes people will listen to my videos, say this is not for them, and then come back months later, weeks later, sometimes days later, and they're like, I needed to hear this because I didn't know this was going to happen. Not that this situation may happen to you, but it may be like, oh, I needed that piece of advice I had heard back then. Let me use it in this event, right? Let me use it in this thing. If you need a mentor, you're seeking this or you're seeking that, right? Like, sounds like I'm giving part of the reading already, but there's that. So this is for those that you're just wanting to know what to look out for, or what's something that can help you or such. This is what this reading is kind of for. It's basically kind of specific. So I took out a fortune telling deck. For people that don't know, I don't use the G word. The G word is derogatory for Romani, right? Who had left their country and seek for shelter. So I don't use the G word. It's derogatory. As a person of color, as a Latina, my mother's Colombiana, right? There are plenty of derogatory names that are sent to people who are Latino, or people who are of Black heritage, African heritage, and stuff like that. These derogatory forms and things that they like to say about people of color, right? We ain't speaking them here. I do my best to learn, and I do my best to grow, and I don't want to be doing that. My father is Sicilian, but that's not, like, I know I have some white privilege, but I still will not be trying to use it except to benefit people of color. Okay, for people that don't know, I'm part of the BIPOC community, Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Ha! Looks a lot better. So yeah, that's who I'm here for, because that's who I relate to the most. Not that a white person can't ask for, you know, a reading. It'll happen. Spirit will give me what I can. But there are some readings that I can't do for you. Like, I can't do a coffee reading. My spirits, my ancestors, very specifically as someone who is Colombiana, will not work with somebody who is not indigenous, at least partially, or Latino, to be able to do a coffee reading. They just won't let me do it. Tobacco reading is also one of those things that they just will not let me do for a white person. Maybe you know a tobacco reader who does that, or you might know a palmistry reader or something like that. Oh, they work with people. Well, then go to them, please. Anyways, I've taken up 5 minutes of your time. I just wanted to get that out there as a disclaimer because there's that. This might be a piece of advice that you need. And so hopefully this helps you out. As an espiritista and as a medium, this is one of my messages, one form of my messages that have come out like this. Sometimes they come out in paintings and painting sessions, and then some people are like, it helps me relax to watch you paint or watch you draw or something, or just to hear me chatter. So I hope that in any way like this, I can help you out and give you content to at least help you with a little bit of advice. All right. Anyways, coming through today. So we're using this one, right? These are the backs of them and what they look like. All right, cool. This is not the card, but there's that. Anyways, with these, they work kind of like Lenormand or fortune-telling decks, where they have like 2 or 3, maybe like 6 to 8 different meanings, kind of like a tarot card would. But a tarot card is more in depth, versus fortune-telling decks are more on the surface and in the physical realm. I feel like they're more physical realm, less spiritual aspects, and what the astral realm is saying versus what's happening here now. It's great to get the nitty-gritty, get it out the way, and then we can ask explanations of why things are happening this way. To your spirits, to your guides, to your ancestors, your angels, and all the beings of above. Above, below, all of them that are surrounding. For people that don't know, the astral realm is about 2 inches above ours. For people that see spirits and such like me, you know what I'm talking about. It literally looks like there's still people walking through each other, and it just... it's slightly hazy. Sometimes. Or other days, I'm so exhausted that shit looks like this person look like a person, and then this person just... And I'll have someone come up and say, you're talking to the air. And I'm like... I'll look back and I'm like, oh, so you're dead. Ah, okay. Whole different conversation. Anyways, getting back into this. For our nitty gritty, I pulled out 3 cards here. Okay, so now I can see how the cards look, and they actually come out looking. So the first card we have here is the Scholar. Okay, and it's literato. Literato. Basically, it's the Hierophant, almost. I will be making esta video en español. Si la necesitan, I will put that little link down below. Now that it's YouTube, I can put as much as possible in these links and help you out, so that way you can get around and such. We also have Constancy. Constancy. Oh, we got Fuzzy. Okay. They like being in the middle. And then we have Enemy. All right. Now, based on where cards... This is a very big, a lot of fortune-telling cards and fortune-telling decks, oracle decks, talk about who's next to who, and that is what matters. It is less about what you feel and more about what's down on the paper and what are the cards you got or the messages you received, right? As someone who speaks to the dead, sees things, knows things, you know, with a lot of my clairs, or mi dones, you know, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clair-knowing, all sorts of things, right? I don't really talk about that, but I do try to explain it and stuff. For someone who knows things, sees things, and hears things, if I hear something, I'm going to give you this message, right? Basically, these 3 right here explain to something that's very interesting to me, okay? The way they are arranged is the Scholar, Constancy, and the Enemy. Now, you can see that the Enemy is going towards Constancy, but Constancy is not faced at all towards him, okay? And the Scholar is kind of like, his body is like facing almost straight on, and hers is faced kind of like, we are moving in that direction, which makes a lot of sense. For people that don't know, the Scholar in a lot of in this fortune-telling deck specifically, means usually a mentor, like the Hierophant. Not in the sense of the Hierophant, where the Hierophant comes up and then it's like weddings or marriage, or it can mean like more than that. No, it's more like it's a mentor, it's someone that is respectable, it's somebody that you learn from. This sometimes can be considered like an accountant. with the amount of books that you see in the background. This is somebody that you try to learn from or try to grow from. Constancy is the change of life. Those being next to each other and that being facing, almost like how it's facing each other, right? That right there explains to me that, especially because the red cloak, I don't know if you saw it, but she has a red cloak on, and this is a red tablecloth. It's almost like she took the tablecloth with her, and she's going about life. Okay, that is what I see in this, in that sense. Red is seen as a noble color in this. Very interesting to me. Things that you happen to feel and sense in decks, right? That's why a lot of people will say, oh, visually I'm seeing this, and this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm noticing as readers. For us who have many reading under our belt, we usually go about and we find themes and stuff. That's what it's about. But these two, when they're next to each other, usually means that you seek out more advice for something that's going on in your life. This sometimes is a hard part. You are in a etapa, you are in a place in your life that is a little bit difficult or is really difficult in this sense, and you're needing higher advice. Okay, you're needing somebody that's in your corner, that's, hey, this is some stuff that you can try, whether it's somebody that you follow on the social media platforms that you're learning from, or if it's somebody that you've learned in person or such, somebody who you would like to alcanzar them, you would like to be in that position in life. You know how they say, like, you want a mentor, or you want to see what your mentors that have the amount of money you want to be making, or have the business that you wish to have, how do they go about themselves? How do they invest their money? How can you see them succeeding, right? Like, if they're going to networking events, well, then you should do that too, right? You should be networking anyways, right? In businesses and stuff. But if you're like, oh, I see that this person is more domestic, right? For some people, it's domestic in the home life, right? But say you're somebody who's like, oh, like, I see that this person was very good at making like little lunch boxes for their kids, and I tried that and I liked doing that for my kids, right? I got kids, right? But just in case that's like you like being domestic and you're like, oh, I tried cooking that and I really liked this, this person, this chef's way of cooking. I'm going to go and look at their cookbooks, right? I'm going to go search up their stuff. I'm going to go look at how they go about it, how their family reacts to them. And is that the type of life I want, right? Some chefs stay single all their lives, right? We can be honest. Some accountants do too. Some, whatever business you're in, there's always that one person that's solitary and you're like, they have all that money, but they don't have happiness around them. And that's not what you wish to have. Some people are like, I want to be that single aunt. I want to be that single, the one who goes on vacation all the time and you see her twice a year. Like, some people are like, that is who I want to be. Okay, then find somebody that has that type of lifestyle that you would like, that way that you would like to come up to or be like. Some people are like, oh, I see Oprah, right? Like, she has her own show, she has this, she has been in publishings, she's done that, she's succeeded, but how did she get there, right? For people that dissect that and learn from that, and you learn from who would be your mentors, right? These are the people that you look up to. You take that on and then you say, okay, this is stuff I've learned and I'm going to keep going in my life using what I've learned, using what I'm growing from, all of that. For some people, it's not these famous people. Like, some of us do not care to be famous, right? Some people are like, I never want to be famous. I don't give a shit about that. I'd rather be like, just a simple firefighter, make my life easy, right? As someone who's a firefighter EMT, I'm using that as an example. I've seen it many a time. But they're like, I just wish to be a paramedic, get on with my life, do my thing, and like have vacation days, go home, vacation days, and continue to work and do my job because I like it. More power to you. Like, that's very real, very truthful, and very honest and such. I'm just looking at what it looks like on screen. But with the enemy here, this is colleagues. This is people that are coming up in your life, or people that you've had to toss to the side, or people that you notice are not growing like you are. Okay? Constancy is the weave and flow of life. The web and flow of life. The web and flow of the waves. My brain's a little bit all over the place. But when I see constancy, I always think it is like the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. Okay, it's like the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. It's very big in the sense that it's more like, it's like life will continue to roll. Life is cyclical. It is in seasons and it is in repeating cycles. That if we're in a tough time, but we take the advice and the stuff we've learned and then we roll with it, then we don't have to repeat the same cycle, right? A lot of people talk about this, but dating the same demon in different bodies. Like, it happens. If you have not healed from a trauma or healing or recognizing this trauma, you will be dating that same type of person in a different body. Truly. Like, no nice way to put it. That's what will happen with this. This one I'm feeling is more like business oriented, or like your money's worth and like your physical abundance and stuff. That's very much what this feels like. So this enemy, or these enemies, or these people that are around you, I've always said that, you know, people, majority of people, will celebrate a win for you, right? Until you surpass them. Los superas. You do better than them, right? Your colleagues want you to do, you know, a colleague may want you to do well, but not better than them. Okay? Like, that is something like I need people to get through their mind. I've said it multiple times, but I've noticed that a lot of people are like, oh, like, they've been with me through the end. We all started at the bottom. We got this kind of like little management position, and now I got the promotion, and now I'm going to be their boss, and now they absolutely hate me. You know, you got to watch out for those people that are not, like, everybody's plotting like, oh, like, they got the good job. They're going to be like a great boss or something, or like people are applauding for you, right? But that one person isn't. That one person that was your ride or die, was your friend, was your this, was your that. You know, whether it is a spouse, family member, cousin, sibling, any of the above, parental figure, you know, whatever this happens to be. And I don't feel like it's parental figure exactly for anybody. Really, it might be for like one person. Because of the scholar here. And when I say the scholar, it's usually somebody who adds things to your life, adds to the constancy, gives things. It's like aid from a loved one, which if you read in like oracles and stuff and like playing cards, that's the 5 of clubs. The 5, I want to say clovers so bad. The 5 of tréboles. You know, it's that. And usually it's like, oh, it's aid from a loved one. Someone's wanting to help out. Somebody's wanting to give to you, right? There's people that want to help you, but there's always some people that aren't applauding, like aren't really there. They're not on your side, and you're going to recognize this, or you've already recognized this, or you're noticing that it's very real. It's very truthful. It's, as this saying goes, it just is, right? Like, you're noticing that these are colleagues or things that started with you, and they're not growing any more than you are. Right? You're like, oh, I started my small business and we both did, right? But you're pushing it. You're sending out marketing. You're doing more. You're doing better, right? And you're noticing the money that you're achieving. You're putting into savings accounts, and you're setting up your business right so it can always get better, right? A lot of people don't talk about it, but with small businesses and stuff, because I feel like this one's like for small businesses, little blessings and things that are coming in your life and happinesses and things. More of like blessings and physical wealth and such. People don't talk about that. You need a savings and you need a checking, and you probably need more than two savings. You need one that's like maybe for your business, and this one could be connected to the spouse if you need to, or if you don't have a spouse, you know, you're like, this one's going to be for my work, this one's going to be for the saving for the present, this one's going to be like my emergency savings. People don't talk about it until you like learn accounting like these people are, or you're learning to set yourself up, you know, all of this kind of things, really and truly, and just all sorts of stuff. But, you know, you're getting these things. You're getting these things, and you're bringing these things to you. Why? Because what I have here, I think this is the Revelations Tarot. Hopefully it is. If it isn't, I will correct the name down below in the description, because this is YouTube. I can add to it. I can, you know, edit things and make them clickable for you in case you need a link or something. Some people need links just to see what the face forward and stuff is. First card out is the Ace of Coins. Or Pentacles. This is physical wealth. This is money, like paper money, coins, gold, properties, papers as in like deed statements and stuff. This is very much that type of thing. For people that sometimes wonder why I say papers, yes, sometimes it is papers. Sometimes it is getting your residency of a place that you have been living in. Sometimes it's getting these type of things. They're blessings. I said happinesses earlier, but it was like, no, like happinesses and like feelings are like cups energy, like hearts energy, sort of. It's like a loving energy, right? That's happinesses. That's like family and such. This is more like bringing in the wealth so that way my family can be more stable, buying the house so my life is a little bit better, or getting the stove if I've had a broken stove for 2 months, you know? Whatever it is that you happen to be talking about or is. Why I say that you have all these blessings and stuff, and why that I think this enemy really is towards business, is because of this. I have the Two of Coins here. Two of Coins is about balance, balancing your checkbook, balancing the things that you desire, the things you wish for, the things you want for, right? It's great. Awesome. It's what we want to hear. Usually this is indecision though. And this next to this, because this is how it came out, it's not good in the sense. Because this is, you're getting all these blessings, but you don't know what to do with them because you've heard other people or people. Let me explain this. The enemies or the people close to you, this may be a spouse. This is why I say it may be a spouse. It may be like a family member, or it might be some people que están haciendo cuentas alegres con plata que no es de ellos. People are making decisions with money that isn't theirs, is what it translates to. Why I say that? Because of this one. Three of Swords. Okay. These are reversible. If you're somebody who likes reversibles, just in case I forget that. But I don't use reversals because Spirit tells me what these are, what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, what I'm getting, what's all of that, right? What's it? I just drank some water, y'all. Had to. I reuse the plastic bottles a shit ton of times, whether for my plants, whether for something else, all sorts of things. So it will be reused, I promise. No waste here. Hopefully that helps out. But when I see these, what I mean is somebody is saying that you should do your money the way they think you should. That you should spend your money, that you should be doing the things that they think are worthy. Do you understand? This can be in the sense of somebody feels like you need to aparentar. That, you know, it's, as people of color, we've talked about this, right? We understand that other, like, different groups have different ways of doing this. I've always seen it as such. A lot of Latinos, people who are indigenous or people indigenous or from Latino America, majority or quite a good portion of us, we would rather have like a bed than have the expensive car, right? Versus, you've seen it, where some people that are other groups of color, right? They would prefer to aparentar. They would prefer to show off and have a really expensive Mercedes-Benz or a Jaguar or something that's, you know, a BMW that's really expensive or such, Land Rover, something. Expensive car, vehicles, multiple vehicles, and then have, you know, as it said, have the colchon, the mattress on the floor. Would rather have a very, very expensive TV, but instead of a bed frame, they would prefer that. They would prefer to have, you know, expensive jewelry, expensive things to show off to people instead of having the necessities or what other people would in their house. What I mean by that is, you know, people of color or Latinidad, you know what I'm talking about. There are people who would rather aparentar, that they would rather have like the expensive perfume and smell good and whatnot when they're leaving their house, versus their house is not furnished, versus their house doesn't have the things that one would need to sustain themselves. They would rather go out to eat instead of spending some time cooking some food for them and their family, which is a higher expense, right? Which can entail people going into debt, which can entail people going into all sorts of things, right? It's really uncomfortable for me to say out loud, but that sometimes is what these cards mean. It's sometimes what they mean. Another thing that they can mean is They want you to show your wealth off instead of keeping it in a bank account, instead of investing it back into your business. That's what I hear. Somebody here, or maybe multiple other people who need to hear this, you need to base out your books or understand a little bit on how your first paychecks are going to come in, and then whether you need to set up automatic payment that 20% of every check is going directly into your emergency fund until your emergency fund is this much, or 20%, 10% is going into your savings and it's set away. Like, this is your savings for future things or your home or something, and you don't see that money. Like, it's so automatic that you don't consider it cash in your brain. You know, there's different ways of speaking and different ways that you can even find here on YouTube, like lots of accounting and stuff. That's awesome to learn about. But if you don't really take the time to learn, take the time to understand money, then you repeat the mistakes that maybe you've made before. Maybe you had debt, maybe you had this, maybe you had that. Maybe that's why you started your small business, to have some more money, or because you were worried that there's only one spouse paying the bills, yeah, right? Or you're the only one paying bills, so you're looking, hey, this is not the job that I want, right? 2020 has, and during the pandemic through 2020, right, has made people understand that you should not be, even previous, for people who knew, don't just rely on one source of income. Have multiple streams, that it's something that you can be like, okay, like I got a little bit more here to help me with this absence of something here. Or I was able to make this small little business that I started, and I'm baking cakes, tamales, you know, whatever it is you happen to be making, buñuelos, I don't know. Being Colombiana, or buñuelos are the circular kind, and what Mexicanos would call buñuelos, we call actually hojuelas, except they're not sweet. And they're made with orange juice. If you're like, what the hell, go Google it. There are lots of people, though you have to like type it in Spanish to understand cómo hacer hojuelas. But they're kind of like your buñuelos. So for us, the buñuelos are circular. So yeah, they're like cheese dough, fried, like con almojábana, if you're from the area that my mom is from, Antioquia, or if you happen to be from where my family was kind of raised and where I grew up in Cali and such, in Valle del Cauca, then you would have, pan de queso, right? Cheese bread. Pan de queso, right? If you're somebody who like you cook, so that way, you know, baking and stuff, you can sell this, right? You can sell cookies or donuts, right? Something more Americanized for the people that are hearing me here, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to sell donuts or cookies or like sweets, so that way I can have a little bit of extra money to be able to buy someone a gift, to buy my little kids gifts, to be there, to be this. Do it, right? That's very big. You have some blessings here, and you as the person listening, very much so. Understand that there are going to be people that are telling you how you should deposit your money, how you should do things, and why you should, and you should appear. This might be even a family member that's close by, that's like a sister, a sibling or something, or the spouse that's like, oh, I'm paying all the bills, and what'd you do with the money that you saved? You basically put them back into your business, and you're like, yeah, logically speaking, you kind of need it at that point, right? Because the money you invest in your business makes your business grow exponentially versus just to the second power, right? Instead of doubling in the sense that, oh, it's growing a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, instead it can be exponential rise. As people say, strike when the iron is hot, right? In the English saying, like, póngase a planchar, like, get it, like, go and do your things that you need to, right? Because your business is going to be there for you because you want to make it grow. You want to be able to do things. But maybe there's a compromise. Maybe they're telling you, you should be going on a 6-day vacation, or like almost a month vacation or something, on a cruise or something. Can you work on that cruise? Can you do the things that you need to? Like, taking some time to rest and feel better is very much needed. Okay, this is the Four of Swords. Rest, recovery, taking time for yourself, very helpful, okay? Especially because this right here is mind-body disconnect. You're emotionally feeling pressured, or your emotions are, I need a break, but I don't feel like I deserve one. Feels less on that and more on, do you feel like your business can survive without you? That's why there's automation. That's why there's, if you feel like you're the one, you know, when we're starting businesses and stuff like that, we're like, we're the ones that want to do all the emails. Well, maybe sign up for like an email automatic, like thing or automation or something like that, where people will get subscriber emails. You can do the one email instead of having to forward it to 20 people. You just click a button and it gets there. So it's all sorts of things. Yeah, so the best way to put it is you have lots of blessings. Don't allow people to dictate what your money does for you and how you use it, right? Do what's best for you. And if your bills are paid and you have a little bit extra and you want to invest into this business, to this self, and to this side, do it. Like, truly do it. Get your stuff in order, because when you're smaller, it's a lot easier than when you're bigger, and then you're like scrambling. Scrambling on, how do I do this? How do I do that? Right? Like, people who want to get better in money, you have to learn to be better. So, all sorts of things. Hopefully, you can still see me. But yeah, all sorts of things. Here we are at 30 minutes. I don't know when it cuts out on my phone. But yeah, anyways, I hope that this helps you out. I hope you understand that there are enemies, people that don't wish you the best in your midst, but life consistently goes on, right? You are choosing what's better for you, choosing with the wheel of the year, that this may be a hard spot right now, but that you'll always get better. Seek mentorship, learn from things, learn to be productive for yourself, learn to be productive so you can have more time for your family, or if this is related more on your physical and your home, learn to take care of a house if that is what you've always wanted to. You're like, now I have a house and I don't know what I was doing, because now I was in an apartment before and I had only a room, 2 rooms to clean. Maybe there's different ways. Plenty of ways to do this. Maybe you never had a gas stove before and you just had a simple crock pot, right? And now you're like, now I'm having to understand this appliance and stuff. Whatever it is that you're having to do, understand that it's okay. This mind-body disconnect does not have to be forever, okay? Like, truly, this mind-body disconnect does not have to be forever, in the sense that with resting, with taking your time, right? Taking your time to rest, to alleviate things, balancing things, life, play, your work and your play life, your work hard, play hard, right? As they say, taking that balance and seeing where it goes, accepting your opportunities that are coming to you, knowing that there are people that you've noticed that aren't really there for the long term, and it's okay to release people who are snakes, who are people who shed their skin and act like they're a totally different person because you showed up in their life or you decided to go above and beyond. Don't allow them to speak ill of you. Seek that knowledge, seek that mentor or that growth that you're looking for, because there's better things along the way. All right, y'all. Hopefully this helps out just a little bit, and yeah. All right, y'all. Hopefully this sounds good. I'll be doing this one in Espanol now. Yeah, and then I'll post it. I am focusing on building my website of SAArmatoArts.com better, but you can email me at SAArmatoArts@gmail.com, or you can even send me chats through WhatsApp or Snapchat. Both of which are that phone number. It's on my website and I have to post it more, but I'm so worried that somebody is going to come and steal my number or cause problems or such, because it was a whole thing. You've seen people with their WhatsApp numbers and text this to do this, and some of these readers are not authentic, or they're not really people who see the dead. They don't, they're trying to take advantage of you. So there's that. That is my actual phone number. You can text if you're in the US. Please do not text if you are abroad, because yeah. that's why I say WhatsApp, because I answer a lot faster. You can text and you can call and I probably won't answer you, but if you send through WhatsApp, I'm a lot faster. Snapchat too. But yeah, an email. I'm trying to get better about answering my emails. Also, for a couple of people, I know that I owe kind of discounts. And I have 2 people I finally have arranged, and now I have only 2 of you left, that with your first reading, you get a discount. Always. That's always been my thing, because we may not jive together. We might not vibe together, as people say. You might come down that you're like, oh, I'm not a big fan of your reading, or I'm not a big fan of this, right? Your first reading with cards is always at a discount when it's the first appointment, right? And this is probably the best time to say it, but I'm having an increase in prices. Not just because life has gotten more expensive, but because I've always undercharged myself, and I know it. But I always try to help people and keep it affordable. So the rate is basically going to go up by, depending on which one. I will be posting new rates to make life a little bit easier for y'all. And as I'm getting my website fixed up right now, the money situation, the little clicks for paying with PayPal and stuff, they're still normal. They're still the same prices. But yeah, there's an easier way if you ever wanted to just pay through Zelle or PayPal itself and be like, I'm going to pay you $65 for a reading. Cool. You can. But first, talk to me so that way we can see if you need an actual appointment reading or if you just need a pre-recorded reading. A pre-recorded can be such as this, like a video, or it can be a voice recording. Sometimes I even write out what spirits are giving me and what they're texting me and what they're giving me behind my eyeballs. And writing it out and then taking a picture of the cards for y'all. But yeah, you can do that, especially if life is busy and you can't just say, hey, I have 30 minutes right now. It'd be more like a podcasty form, or you can like come back and watch it and such, especially because it would be unlisted, so nobody can see it unless you have the actual, what's it called? Link. I've been trying to do private. We're going to see if I can finally succeed at that. So that way, the only way you can log in is through a password. But the other way is just through a link. And I never mention names and stuff. So that way, whatever's easiest for you. But yeah, hopefully this helps out. So this was the Revelations Tarot. They're so pretty in the back. And they're nice. Nice quality. They could be a little bit laminated instead of this matte finish, but at least they don't shine whenever we're doing that. This is the Revelations. And then this is the Oracle cards. These are a fortune telling deck. So yeah, hopefully this helps out. I have edged it black. It does not come edged black. Okay, it comes like this and the back. But I edged it black because I like my things lasting long periods of time before I have to buy it again. Because it happens. It happens. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and I hope that everything is well. And I hope that this longer format where you could get absolutely everything just from single reading makes your lives just easier. You can always speed it up if this was too much. All that. All right. Love y'all. Bye.